Alright, we're back. The second topic for discussion this week is the governor's race. It seems that the Republicans have put a nice little twist in this one. The presumptive nominee, former Representative Rick Lazio, was slated to get the nomination. Instead, former Long Island supervisor, Steve Levy, has now switched parties. He's become a Democrat. He's gone from being a Democrat to a Republican, and he will now challenge for the nomination. To be honest with you, it just goes to show, Gary, how weak the Republican Party is in the state of New York.
Well, not only weak Republican Party, right? And before we even go there, Andrew, I want to point out, because as we discussed, looking for this topic, we wanted to do a little research on it, and this guy announced yesterday, and it's on page 19 of the Daily News, but the topic is First Sparks Fly in GOP Battle for Gov. It's on page 18. David Patterson making a phone call, or receiving a phone call, page 1 in the Daily News, and lead story in at least 3 news programs in New York for 2 or 3 days. But there's a new entrance into the governor's race, it is page 19. So I'm just at a loss on.
Oh no, you should be puzzled by that because, I mean, let's face it, and Republicans ought to face facts in this state, they suck in this state.
Well, they do, but you know what? But this is in the candidate announcing for governor. I think I did not to be page 1, but that's to be ahead of page 18.
And Sandra Bullock's marriage problem.
Exactly. Exactly. That's to have it ahead of it. A marriage problem, a couple of
nice little dog story.
Dog story.
Yeah.
And ahead of the new governor, new candidate for governor of the state of New York.
Okay.
But it does show how weak the Republicans are in this state. Actually, I think they have it written off, to tell you the truth. I mean, when's the last few? Since Pataki, and he was just a whim. He just came along at the right time when Mario Cuomo had governed New York for 12 years. And that's just about as long as people can take any executive, be they good or bad. A 12-year run is about as much as you can get.
Oh, Lord. All right, but here's the thing. If I'm Rick Lazio, I'm kind of miffed at this. Because I took a bullet for Rudy when he was running for Senate against Hillary Clinton, okay, and lost, right, badly. And then you would think that the party would reward my loyalty by at least giving me a clear shot to get this nomination.
I don't agree with that, Andrew. The name of the game of any election is winning, right? And I'm pretty sure if you look at every poll, he's at least 20 to 30 points behind Andrew Cuomo, who is a possible opponent. I don't owe you anything when you didn't do anything to build yourself up in that senatorial race was, what was almost 5 or 6 years ago.
6 years ago, yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, you disappeared. You have nothing on your resume in the last 5 or 6 years to give you, to prompt you up that make you a viable statewide candidate, except for the fact that if your claim to fame is, hey, when you needed me, I stepped in, then you shouldn't be the governor.
As opposed to bringing in a candidate from your opposing party?
Well, if they give me a chance that candidate gives me a chance to win, if he gives me a better chance to win, then I'm sorry. Like I said, the name of any election, the name of the game of any election is to win it.
And they're not going to win it. That's the unfortunate thing. They can transfer. Think about it. The only reason why Levy stepped in is because he knew he wasn't going to get the nomination from the Democratic Party.
Yeah, you know why? And that's a problem. Why is he not going to get the Democratic nomination?
Oh, well, we know that.
Here's an individual who garnered an unheard of 96% of the vote in his last local election and should be a serious candidate. But already Andrew Cuomo has been anointed by those. And when they anoint someone, that's what leads to the current governor's problems, that they want to make sure Andrew Cuomo has his rite of passage to the governorship of New York. And that's a problem. Steve Levy should not have to switch to the Republican Party to have a chance at winning a nomination that has already been given away and promised in back.
Just a moment ago, like you said, the name of the game is to win.
It's to win,
right?
Exactly.
And Cuomo, in the Democratic bigwigs' mind, gives them the best chance to win. He's got the name.
Wait.
Got the name recognition.
He has the name recognition, but so does the governor of New York have the name recognition.
But he's got his own problems.
Problems created by individuals who want to anoint Andrew Cuomo as the governor. If Andrew Cuomo is not the chosen Democratic candidate, then all these small issues, and they are small issues that Governor Patterson is having, you never hear of.
Yeah, see, but this is not so much about how messed up the Democrats' house is. This is how messed up the Republicans' house is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Republican, but it does serve the state's the state better if there's two opposing parties. Right now, both parties are so weak. To be honest with you, I can't see myself voting for it.
well, the big thing is, and honestly, is that there's not a lot of leadership in New York.
Leadership? Hell, I mean, you know, Helen Keller could lead this state at this rate.
Oh, that was bad. I think that was very inappropriate there, referring to our governor as a handicapped kind of state.
No, no, it's just
we don't agree with all the views said on America Speaks.
no. I'm sorry.
Because me, honestly, I am a supporter of Governor Patterson, and I think he is a governor that was put into a bad situation with the budget, that any governor would be having problems right now. He is very knowledgeable in the workings of Albany, and he should be given an opportunity. And I'm very disappointed that he announced his candidacy, then pulled out way from his candidacy, and even now considering resigning. But I think, and honestly, in my opinion, David Patterson, of the announced candidates, is probably the best candidate to continue to lead this state.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be politically incorrect again, but even Stevie Wonder could do better than what he did before.
That is politically incorrect.
I mean, but again, it shows...
But how so? Right now, it's a difficult time with the budget. Everybody is having problems balancing their budget when you don't have more tax revenue because you don't have jobs. Well, I'm trying to figure out, a lot of New York revenue came from Wall Street, and those revenues are up now with the government fake money in it. But I'm just wondering, right now, the bottom line is Steve Levy has a right to switch. If
you're a Republican, can you trust him?
If I'm the head of, well, it's not about trusting. I can trust Rick Lazio, but if I'm going to give up the executive house for another 4 years, what good is me trusting Rick Lazio?
But think about it. What does it mean about being a Republican now? Oh, I mean, I'm a Republican, because it's convenient. Well, what do we go to?
It's not wise for you to be a Republican in New York and try to seek statewide office.
I don't know. I mean, the mayor Bloomberg is trying to. Hell, he can buy anything he wants.
Remember, Bloomberg was a Democrat for the first 50 years of his life.
Right.
And then he switched over to a Republican because he was not going to get the Democratic nomination for mayor in New York. And so let's not forget, Bloomberg is not a Republican. Now he's back being independent, I believe.
Yeah, well, remember...
So the last 8 years, he switched party 3 times.
Wait a minute. 8 and 12 years beforehand, Ed Koch, who was the mayor, ran on both the Democratic and...
No, there's a difference. He ran on both lines. There's a difference between...
So which one is he? I mean, what does it mean to be in a party anymore?
No, Koch was a Democrat. He was so popular, the Republicans knew...
Well, that's kind of questionable now.
They knew they didn't have a chance of beating him, so they put him on their line too. But there's a difference between accepting... You'd be a fool. If I was... I am a registered independent. If I was a Democrat and the Republicans offered me their line, and so if you're really running unopposed, I would accept it too. Like I said, the name of the game is winning. I'm not going to leave room for error for somebody to make a mistake and think that they might vote for the wrong person.
Okay, on that, we'll close out this topic, and once again, we'll come back after a short break.
I don't like